Welcome to Ken's Corner. Special edition. Holidays are fast approaching, and as the mechanic, we get gifts too. Sometimes we give ourselves our own gifts. So as this is for something you want to buy yourself, or maybe you're looking at something for a loved one who works in the garage quite a bit. Either way, they would be appreciated. Starting small and simple. Compass, metal, adjustable. Very inexpensive, invaluable. When you need one and don't have one, you'll give your eye teeth to get it. You can adjust it to whatever size you want, take the measurement, come over and transfer it to a ruler. You know where you stand. Okay? Like $10. Everything that I talk about on this episode is going to have a link below, and most of it's on Amazon or Lowe's. Summit Racing, but this is a slick little tool, something you need in your toolbox. Doesn't cost a lot, but when you need it, you'll do anything to get it. So spend the 10 bucks, give yourself a treat. Calipers. Really a generic, simple pair I've had for 20 plus years, hell, probably 30 years. Made by General, whoever they were, probably a Harbor Freight special. This is the old dial indicator. They got the new digital ones. I'm sure everything's got a price to it. But when you want to really know what you're measuring, and you need to be fairly accurate, these are not digital. They're not, steel. They're not perfect, but they're pretty damn close. When you need to know where you stand and what that size is, this will tell you. Sometimes you run into a situation with a bore of a piston. I'm talking like a master cylinder, and you're not sure if it's 8 7/8 or at 1 inch. This will tell you. So I bought these for like 20 bucks years ago. 30 years ago. I'm sure new ones are more expensive, but spend that money. Have that in your toolbox, and it is something you will want and use. I love this tool. Magnetic shop light, LED, and if you press it a couple times, it even shoots out the top. Lightweight, magnetic, very strong magnetic. You can hang it upside down in the car. It's adjustable. Really a very slick tool. It is thousands of uses. The only problem I ever have with it is I hang it under the car someplace and forget that I hung it there, and then I'm walking around going, where the hell did I put that? Well, it's underneath the car where you left it, you dummy. 30 bucks maybe, something like that. Beat it, use it for a hammer, I'm afraid to say. Rechargeable, I think it's a C-type cord to a USB, and my toolbox happens to have a USB plug-in for it, so I just keep it charged and sitting on the toolbox, and whenever I'm ready to go to work, there it is. It's got, the life is about 1 hour per charge. It charges pretty quickly, but in that 1 hour, thing works fantastic, bright as bright can be. Not bad at all. So that's a slick little gift for not a lot of money. Great in the stocking. Moving up to scale. This is a pretty, I normally buy really cheap air tools, and this one was a little bit, is Ingersoll brand, so it's a quality brand. A 90-degree diangle, and I've got this wheel attachment. You can buy the kit, and I'll put that on the list too, but it's just simply screws on, and there's all these different grits. This is an 80 grit. They make it, you can buy a bag, a package for like $20, and it comes with like 20 of 80 grit, 20 of 36 grit, 20 of 120, and then you can even get the Scotch-Brite type pad on it for polishing metal. Small, nimble, really, really nice. You can get in 2-inch, you can get in 3-inch. It comes in handy. You use it a lot more than you think, but it's air operated. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a corded one for those that don't have air, but you use this all the time. Great for shaping metal when you're trying to weld and you have to cut a piece, you're filling in a hole or you cut out a gap. Just buzz this, have it right handy with you, and you can get that fit perfect. Love this. Death wheel. Simple operation. This is a Central Pneumatic. All right, not expensive. I mean, $30. And it's changeable. You can put in here whatever you want to. I have a host of tools that will fit into this. But the death wheel aspect of it for cutting metal, and maybe actually cutting wood and plastic and wire, is really good. And I've had this forever, and it just runs. Be cautious. Gloves and eye protection. Death wheels are aptly named. When they come apart, and they will, you got flying sharks, and you don't want to be looking at it. I wear a face shield most times, or I'm very cautious. Be careful. And to go along with that, because if you're doing any metalworking, these are, what do they call them? Stack, SATC, so that's sacked, I guess. But they're ultra thin. All right, but they hold up well. You think, well, they're thinner than normal, and you think, well, they break easier. But no, they hold up really well. They're not bad for price. You can buy like a 50 pack for 18, 20 bucks. And 50 wheels will last you a long time. But nice, really nice. So keep that in mind too. Even if you stocking stuff or just buying the wheels, not a bad deal. I reluctantly bought the next item. And the next item is these plastic spring clamps. And my wife basically instigated this purchase for one of her craft projects and doing the interior on the Cougar. And I said, okay. It was $13 for like a set of 10, all different sizes. These things are great. The worst problem you got is storing them. Okay. Other than that, when you need them, you've got to hold something in place while you check a measurement. Whatever the case may be, and you've got a bunch of them, different sizes. You come in tight places. You got it. These are fantastic. Maybe like the entire kit for like, I don't know what it was, 14 pieces was like $14. Money well spent. We talked earlier when we were doing sanding on the Cougar about an orbital sander, and I mentioned I don't spend much money on them, okay, because it's a tool that wears out quickly. These things are air hogs. If you're running an air compressor, they use a lot of air. Just make sure you get the adjustable knob on the top and not the little lever on the bottom, because your finger hits that all the time and that will piss you off. So you want air adjustment up top here, and then the other thing you want to add to it is the flexible cushion pad. Okay, greatness, absolutely greatness. Not much money, I think $35. The link's below, but check it out, and you'll thank me for that one. The sandpaper I mentioned earlier too, and the sanding the Cougar, getting it naked. The Eagle Abrasives, greatness, absolutely greatness, expensive for paper. I don't know what it was, but it's like twice, 3 times the price of traditional sandpaper. But just buy it when you get down to the finishing work, just before paint. Don't waste it just standing down bare metal or cleaning up, rust. Okay, buy the cheap stuff, use that, it'll do just fine. But when you get down to money, this is what you want to use. What else we got here? Well, if you're gonna spend $1 or $2, and if you don't have one, I bought this Bosch, and I'm really not a brand name type of guy. I like DeWalt because it's accessible and a well-known name. Bosch is a good name in my book. I bought this die grinder, and it's, I have a stone disc on here right now. You can put a flat pad on it. All sorts of things you can buy. This one's okay. It wasn't all that expensive. I mean, it was definitely under 100 bucks. I think I paid like 60 bucks for it. The trigger, the only thing I don't like about it, if your thumb slips off, you're pretty close to what you're working with, and especially if you got cutting disc on there. So you want to pay extra attention. Gloves, eye protection. And the handle can go to either side. It's a nice unit. It takes a lot of abuse. You'd be surprised how much you drop them. At least I do. So, but not bad if you don't have one. Because if you're welding or just shaping metal, sometimes even cutting metal, I'll use the cut metal. So not a bad deal. Think about it. Ooh, I mention this because we're doing electrics. In fact, right now we're right in the middle of electrics and kind of stuck in between because I had to install the air conditioner main box first before I did electrics, so I could see what space I had available to run the electrics. And it was, Pandora's box. What came first? Okay, so, and I had to pull the air conditioner 3 times, and it's a pain in the butt, but when you redo a car like this, it happens. Shrink, a heat gun for shrink tubing, warming your hands up, warming parts up. If you're fitting bearings, things like that, puts out a lot of heat quickly. Not bad. This is Wagner. My son bought it for a paint project he was working on, and somehow ended up in my garage to stay. I'm sure there's 100 different brands and quality ratings. It goes with the price. I'm just guessing, you're in the $50 range. I have no idea. I haven't bought one after I hijacked this one, but you use it a lot more than you think you would. I got 2 left. If you're so lucky to have air compressor, air shears for cutting thin gauge metal, this will go up to 18 gauge, okay? And when I first thought about this, I was afraid it would really distort the metal and put, waves in it. It does a great job. And this is a cheapo pair. I still think I spent $50 on it, thereabouts. It'll be on the link below. But as long as you keep it well oiled, before any project, I'm cutting a new big sheet of metal for, a fender repair or a patch panel, whatever it may be. I oil these up I happen to use Marvel Mystery Oil. And it makes all the difference in the world. Get it lubed real good, and then it'll just buzz through it like butter. Nice and smooth, doesn't distort the metal. When I bought it, I was skeptical. I'm sold. I'm glad I have this tool. Money well spent. Last but not least, and Lucky Costa, if anybody watches Lucky's Garage, he calls it the most important tool he has. And I would agree. He uses a 3M brand. I can't afford that. But this is, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Links below. It really does a great job. And you'd be surprised. You get to be a little artist with this thing. And it comes in handy when you're doing little spot welds and you just need one little area you need to take the paint off so you can make that tack or that rosette or whatever weld you're going to do. Or if you've been doing other stuff, ran into a spot where we're putting in the air conditioning unit and there's a mount for the glove box that, when the Ford cranked these out, they probably moved it within 3 inches. It just had to be someplace in the neighborhood. Well, of course, it was in the way of the air conditioner. So what did we do? Did we get in there with the death wheel working upside down, thing that far from your nose? Not a good idea. My son, KC, came up with the idea, hey, grab this, go in there, shave off a little bit so there's no interference issue and you have room for vibration, for clearance. Did a great job. This thing is brilliant. The sanding discs are easy to change and inexpensive. You can buy any grip you want to buy. And they wear out and you just put a new one on. It does a great job. So it's not a bad tool. Lucky says the best tool he owns. Maybe. I know, and I forget about it. That's the worst part. It is. I never think about it being in my arsenal. And I'll finish doing something and it'll take me 3 times longer and I thought I'll be pissed. And I'm like, why didn't I use this? It's just, I need to think about it more. I don't pay it enough respect. So listen, that is just a few ideas I had for maybe you can drop a hint to somebody that you would like this in your stocking, okay? So we will end with this. We have a lot more coming up. We just finished a big outing, dirt bike quads out in East Texas, and that was quite an event. Had a good time. A couple crash and bangs, but everybody is in one piece, including me, and we had a good time. It was a good family get together. So, and all the bikes, nothing's broke. A couple things need to be tweaked, but nothing broke. So that made it all the better. So 3 days in the wild, we survived. So that's coming up, and then we're back to the Cougar, electrics and plumbing and all sorts of things, trying to get this puppy running by the end of the year. And then we're going to make some major decisions on the, want to put it together, and we want to look at the glitter and the flake and just see how it all looks. You know, I look at it and sometimes I say, man, this is going to be great. And other times I'm like, yeah, it's lacking something. And I don't know. With me, I may say, screw it, and just repaint the whole thing again. It depends. I want to put it together. We're going to put it together. We're going to take a look at it and decide what it needs, if anything. And that's just the way we roll. You just never know, what direction. Wouldn't be the first time I painted the car 3 times to get it what I want it to be. So we'll see. All right, I wish everybody happy holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah. Everybody, be safe, be careful, be good.